How can we homeschool multiple grades? That's what we're going to talk about today. So keep watching and we'll get right into that. So welcome. If you're new here, my name is Kenzie. I like to talk about homeschooling, especially high schoolers, and urban homesteading. If you've been following along or if you've watched some of my videos, you've already seen kind of the gist of the content I like to talk to you guys about. So one of my dogs growling in the background. We have a visitor. Anyways, today I want to talk about homeschooling multiple grades. So again, if you're new here, my name is Kenzie. If you're not, welcome back. Thank you for checking it out again. That is a common question and something that I struggled with as well. When I first started, I had one going into grade 7 and one going into grade 9. So the gap was a little bit closer. But I know many families that homeschool multiple grades quite successfully. And so here, let's talk about that. And I'm gonna give you 4 or 5 really easy tips that you can implement to homeschool your multiple grades. Okay, so let's think back, way back, when school was a one-room schoolhouse with one teacher and 10 or a dozen children in the school room. They definitely were not all at the same grade. They weren't the same age. They were at different learning levels with different learning styles. Welcome to homeschool. Very similar. So we need to remember that, right? It is absolutely possible. So let's think about what those teachers did back then. There are studies, or not studies, there are subjects that can definitely be taught family style. So I teach a lot of family style in my homeschool with my grade, this year going into grade 9 and grade 11, and I have all along. So what are some of those subjects that we can do family style? Definitely science, geography, Bible, social studies, history. You can do read alouds together where everybody can learn together. So those subjects can all be taught at the same time, okay? It's your math and your ELA, and as the kids get older in science, they might need a little bit more one-on-one. Now the dog's playing with a squeaky toy. It's one of those days. So yeah, those are great subjects that you can teach together with all of your children together. And there are many curriculums that offer that type of learning. The Good and the Beautiful is one of them, that they have science for itty bitty kids all the way up to grade 8. The Gather Round is another one. Not Consumed is a Bible study curriculum that has from like preschool all the way up to your high school level. And then you get a teacher's guide or a parent guide. Master Books also has some different levels, and I think My Father's World, there's all sorts of them. So that would be my first tip, is to dig into some family style learning curriculums that you can gather all your kids together, all grades, all levels, all stages, and do those subjects together. That will save you lots of time and answer that and solve that problem of teaching your kids all together. My second tip would be to have one child work on their independent work while you schedule time to work with another child. So if your older child is capable of doing their math, for instance, or their ELA, or if they have a book they're supposed to be reading, get them working on that while you can dedicate your time to whoever needs the help. And then, as the day goes, you swap that out. That's often helpful too. And as you get into a routine, your kids will know that that's exactly how it works, and that mom is with this child right now and mom will be with you later. So that's totally doable. Another one, if you have a large family, you can get your older kids to help with your younger kids, reading instructions, reading a story to them, helping them with some of their math. That is excellent learning opportunities for your older and your younger kids. And I actually, coming from a public school environment, I worked in a public school. That was something I wanted so desperately to see, is maybe the older kids helping the younger kids. We never did see it. It wasn't something that the school I worked at was interested in doing, but I saw such value in that, and it is so good for your older kids to be able to take that leadership role and that helper role with younger kids. And so I would really, if that's something you're comfortable with, really let them do that. I think it adds a lot of value to your family and to their relationship as siblings. Another thing is you can just simply schedule blocks of time in your day, depending on how you homeschool your day, you know, from this time to this time, you're with so-and-so, and from this time to this time with so-and-so, and this time with so-and-so. So similar to swapping in and out as the others work on their independent work. But the other thing is you got to keep in mind, homeschooling doesn't take hours and hours and hours of your day. So those kids don't necessarily need to be working on something else. They could be playing, they could be outside, they could be helping make dinner, they could be doing chores. There's lots of things, and you just can block your time. And my last one is online curriculum, but where it's very independent and you often even have a teacher teaching them. Now that is an expensive option. That's not something that we do. The only online curriculum that I use for my kids is teaching textbooks. And even at that, only one of my kids is using it this year. But totally an option. If you have a busy household and you can't manage getting everybody's lessons in, totally an option. Lots of options available. So those are, just some of the tips I have. Remember, be flexible. That is a huge one in homeschooling. Be flexible and enjoy it. We have time, and we don't need to do school at home. This is not school at home. This is homeschool, okay? And so we want to take advantage of all the benefits that homeschooling allows us, and that is flexibility and time with our kids and the opportunity to just learn at our own pace, and remembering that everything we do, we are learning. I'm learning as I do this YouTube video. Like, it's constantly, ever since my first one, I've been learning new things every day. And so the kids see that, and it's important to point that out to our kids, that we're always learning and we never stop learning. And so be flexible, just enjoy it. Learning is always happening. Don't stress out. You're not going to be behind. Your kids aren't going to be behind. Everyone will do what they need to do. The last thing I want to talk about quickly is the types of curriculum. I think I talked about some already, actually, that were available. The Good and the Beautiful for science. They also have history for group subjects. I'm not honestly sure. Those are the only ones we've used, but you could look and see. Gather Round, of course, tons and tons of group family style learning, and Not Consumed. Those are ones we use regularly. That's why I talk about those ones often. But there's probably many, many more. Anyways, this is my message. You can homeschool multiple grades. 100%, you can do it. Have faith in yourself, mama. Just enjoy the ride. Enjoy it. And your kids are going to learn, and you're going to learn, and you will become more confident. And and if one system doesn't work for you, don't throw in the towel. Try something else. That is something else I've learned through homeschooling is different things work for different kids. Different things work for different families. Different styles work for different families. Different schedules work for different families. There is not one right way. There are many, 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 many ways to be successful. So just keep trying until you find your groove, and then enjoy the ride. If you have other tips or suggestions for homeschooling multiple grades, leave it in the comments below, please. I'd love to hear them. And remember to like and subscribe. Thanks, and see you next time.